Hello, here we are for our second session for day 2 of our 13 Frights before Halloween. We're ready to add some pages in, make some pages and add them into the book. I'm going to be using black cardstock. This is the 80-pound smooth, and you need 6 cut to 6 inches tall by 4.5 wide. Then get your scoreboard and put the 4.5 in and score each one at 4. So go ahead and do them all the same. So I had to use 2 sheets of, well, 1.5 sheets of 12 by 12 paper to cut the 6 pages, and you save the other half for some pockets and things that we'll make. So now take this, and you have them all laying so that the bump side is down, or the mountain is down, and lift up the wide part and just fold over and get a good score line like that for all 6. Actually, I told you the wrong. Turn this so the bump is up. Sorry, no wonder that one didn't fold quite right. The bump is towards you up, and then fold into it like that and score. So I did that one wrong, but it worked out okay. I'll just redo it. There we go. Bump is up, fold into it, and burnish. The bump is up, fold into it, and burnish. Find that ridge, fold the big part into it, and then burnish. And the last one. So it's a real quick, easy way to get all your folds straight. So we have these all ready. Now the next thing you need to do is take your 3/8 inch score tape, and on the side that's folded, put score tape just on one side between the cut edge and the fold. I'll hold this up so you can see. So that when it's open like that, when it's folded, your tape is on the folded side. This makes the hinge. So you can do that all 6 of them. Okay, now we're ready to put them in the book. All your tape on the hinge, folded hinge side of each page, and we're going to start at the back. So pay attention to your directions. So this is the back here for mine, and you see your fold line. Pull the tape backing off of just one page, and you're going to put it in so that the cut edge comes to the inside and the fold is to the outside. But I want you to hold up your cover so that you see where the fold is, and put it about 1/4 inch and center it top to bottom. Get it straight. So you want an equal distance from the top and the bottom. So you're going to have some of your pattern paper showing at the top and at the bottom. So it's about 1/4 inch from the inside fold, and about 1/8 of an inch top to bottom. And you want to get that in as straight as possible, and then burnish that. Then take the next page, do the same thing. At this time, it's going to go over on top of this, but not straight down. I want you to look at this and line it up and get it about a good 1/4 of an inch separating it. But you line them up together so that they're straight, and then press that down and do the third one. Same way. So the fold is going towards the page, and put it down about 1/4 of an inch from the fold. So we're having a 1/4 inch space in here for now. Okay, now we're going to turn this around, and we're going to do the same thing with the other 3 pages. And we're going to peel the tape backing off, and we're going to fold this up, and we're going to put it about line it up so that they're the same. So this one is about, I would say, 1/8 of an inch, most likely from the fold. 1/8 of an inch to 1/4. And it does overlap. And then the next one's going to go in the same distance, just 1/4 of an inch, give or take, because we're going to add other elements in here. So just main thing is you want them straight, top and bottom, so the same distance. So that's about 1/4 of an inch. And then you have a 1/2 inch there in the middle, and so this last one is going to fit exactly in there. So there's not going to be, let's tell you what we're going to do. We're going to trim this last one off so that we have only 1/4 inch. I don't normally like for it to turn out that way, but that's more gusset than I want here in the middle, I'm thinking. So I want it to come that far, but I don't want it over the fold. So I'm going to trim this off 1/4 of an inch. So that would make it 4 1/4 wide. And we still have our tape on here, so I'm going to peel that off. And you can adjust the widths of these. You just want to make sure that they fit within the fold of that spine. So this one's going to go in this way. So it butts up against that one there. So it gives it 1/4 inch on that side and 1/4 inch on that side. So we've got it like this. And there's our pages, 6 pages in the book. And the next segment for today, we'll continue today. We're going to add some other pockets or start patterning different things, because it depends on your paper collection what you have to add in. So you may or may not have some of the, like my first book had different shapes, some little tags. So I'm probably going to have to do some of the cutting with my Silhouette or my Big Shot to get some variation on there, because I like to put little different size pages in there. So I'm going to, okay, the first page in our book is going to be solid. It's just going to be patterned, and then we're going to put a border on it. And we're going to do these inside covers later, like this. But the next page has a little flip right here. And it has, I think it had a magnet or not. Let's see. Yeah, there's a magnet in there somewhere to make it stick down. So I have cut for this to go right here in between. Yeah. I have cut this one piece of cardstock. You need a 5 1/4 wide by 4 1/4 tall. And then take your scoreboard and put the 5 1/4 in at the top and score at 5. That's going to give you your attachment piece there. And then we're going to see, we want it to fold exactly in half. So that's going to be scoring at 2 1/2, yeah. Okay, here, not on the fold. I'll put it right there. See how that does. And burnish it really good where the fold is. Like that. So we need to add a magnet to hold this down. And I like to use the basic gray. Open that open. Small disc. Come in a package like this. Magnetic discs. These are the small magnets. So you want a plus and a minus. They're labeled on the little papers. Just make sure that they aren't mislabeled. Okay, so they stick together like that. So I want this flap to be attached folded. So I'm peeling one of them off. It's got a little sticky on there, so you peel the paper off. I'm using the minus, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to put it in the center. So when I pattern this, this will cover this up. Then I'm going to attach the plus one to it. So like that. Go ahead and peel the paper backing off the plus. fold up your little flap where you want it to stay, press down, and then separate. So we have the two magnets. And until I pattern them, cover them with paper, I'm going to put a little bit of score tape, leave the paper backing on so they don't peel up or come undone, because sometimes that sticky doesn't stay. So those are ready for that page. Next I added a half page. So I think this one can attach down into that. So we're going to give it a try. And I'm going to cut it 3 3¼ by 3¼ So this will be finished size here. So it'd be 3½ wide by 3¼ Now we're going to take the 3½ wide, and I'm going to score it at 3¼ So this ends up being a 3¼ by 3¼ little tag piece. And I'm going to use my chomper to round the corners. This is a 1/2 inch, just the 2 outer corners. And this is going to fit up towards the top. And I want it to go in this way so it fits up at the top. And it goes, and you know, you could put 2, you could put 1 at the bottom overlapping at the bottom if you wanted to. So like that. Just like that. And then we had the wider one in here that I pieced in, so I may have to cut that. But I think I'm going to put something here, so it's not going to be exactly like this one. I'm going to put another tag, perhaps the same size, maybe, in there. Make sure that's kind of straight. And it will overlap some, so that might look kind of fun. So let me see what that looks like. So that was 3½ by 3¼ And we're going to score it the 3½ inch side at 3¼ I'm doing that off camera here. And get that score line. So see, that can go in here, and they just overlap a little bit. And we're going to round this. And so this will look really neat if you use different papers. In here. Okay, glue that in. Burnish that. And line it up at the bottom, right in that little hinge piece. Get it straight. Burnish that down so that it will hold. There. Okay, there it is. That's the way it goes in there. So that's that, and then we'll do something here. I'm going to add a fold out to this one on this side, 4 by 6, so it will fit here, but it needs a flap to fold out. So I wanted it 3 5/8, I think, so I'm going to score it at 3 5/8. So it will leave it with about a 3/8 of an inch hinge. And so you score it, fold it, and we're going to attach it with 1/4 inch score tape. To the outer edge of this page. So make sure that you line it up at the top and put the fold right along the cut edge of that page. So this gives you a flap here. And then we're going to add a flap with a magnet, another flap. So the second one that goes on the right, measured, finished, looks like 3 3/4. So I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4. I know it's odd sizes, 4 1/4 by 6. And these are real great projects for using scraps of your cardstock. So 4 1/4 by 6, and it scored it in 3 3/4. That's the width I wanted it to be. So I'm going to fold this up. So this gives me a little wider hinge to work with, and I'm going to put it, I'm going to lay it here and see how it fits. You want to make sure that the other one folds in. Okay, so take my 1/4 inch tape and burnish that little fold, that little hinge real well. Okay, peel that off. And you're going to attach this to the right. Open this flap back and see your fold line there. Make sure you don't go over that, but line it up at the top, just a hairline off of that fold line towards to the left. You want it straight as you can get it. Let's see here, maybe a little bit straighter here. There we go. Burnish that, and then this folds over. Then you're going to need, this one folds to the inside, this one to the out, and we're going to put a magnet right here on these two. So the same thing, take your magnets, you need a plus and a minus. Let's see what we got here. We got a minus. Okay, so we're going to put one here on the outside edge, and then we pull the tape backing off. I already had the tape backing off the plus one, left over from another project. Go ahead and close these down, separate them so that you have magnets on each side where they're supposed to be, and put a piece of tape over them. And make sure you leave the tape backing on, because you don't want your pages stuck together with adhesive. So you want it to look like that. And now when we close it, it stays shut. And this one stays shut the way we want it until we open it. Okay. We need for this page here, we're going to need one, and we're going to need to, did I close it down flat, or is it got a space? You feel in there. Yeah. So we're going to have a hinge on each side. We're going to do 1/4 inch. So we're going to cut it 4 1/2 wide by 6. Four and a half wide by 6, and then we're going to score the 4 1/2 side at 4 1/4. Make sure you get it in there square. 4 1/4. Turn it and score again at 4 1/4. So that gives us 2 small narrow hinges on each side for this pocket. And we're going to fold it each side and burnish it. And this is going to fit right there. Okay, we're going to take glue. each flap across just one end for the bottom, and on the flaps only. And then we're going to line it up starting with the cut edge, get it straight at the top and all the way down. Then lay the side flap in and across the bottom. So if some glue comes out, you're just going to have to rub that off, which it may do. And you may have a slight little edge here on the side by the fingernail width. That's okay. That just makes it easier to open up. Let's see here. I think mine kind of got off right there. And with glue, you do have a little bit of time to pull it up and realign if you need to. I'm going to look at that. Yeah, that's better. Okay. So it should be sealed on the bottom and on both sides. We're going to create this little mini flap and pocket here in the middle. And I apologize that I didn't share in our supply list earlier a few weeks ago that I did have a little bag in here that I made a pocket. If you have a bag, a little black bag, this one is a canvas core. It's 3.5 wide by 5 1/4 inches long. You score it so that you have a 1/4 inch double score lines here in the middle. I just folded it to match and then folded an extra one so that it glues down inside of the book. This side becomes the flap and this becomes the pocket. So if you have that, you would fold this in half and then move up and fold another line 1/4 inch from the first one, and that creates the little pocket there. But I'm going to make ours out of the cardstock so that you can see how to do it. So I have 2 pieces of cardstock. I cut one that is 6 inches by 3.5, and then one for the pocket. We're going to make a pocket 3.5. Wait a minute. Oh, yes, that's the right direction. Start off with 3 5/8 by 4.5. So we're going to score this one first. This one's going to become this pocket piece. So the flap. And I'm going to score it at, start off at, this one will probably be trimmed down some, so it may be a little bit long. Yeah, I wanted it long, so it's going to be like that, so that's fine. So I'm going to score this at 2 3/4 and 2.5. So get the scoreboard. Put this in the 6-inch piece at the top. 2.5 and 2 3/4. Fold that. That's going to become our hinge gusset centerpiece here. This is our little flap. And this one here, you put the 4.5 inch side in at the top, score at 4 and score at 1/2. This is going to form our pocket sleeves, so fold those to make hinges. They fold the same direction, so you have 2 flaps like that. Okay, so put score tape on the flaps. So it's like that, folded. There's your tape. It's folded. It opens up. There's no tape underneath. Okay. And this is going to fit over. And I want it on the back side. So you've got your fold like this. Flip this over the longest piece. And we're going to attach this down here. And I do need to pull this tape back. Or rather, we're going to cut that off. Let's see. I think we'll do it after we put it on. We'll cut that off. Yep. Okay. So let's put a line of glue under here, just on one side, to seal the bottom. And go ahead and take the tape backing off. Now on this side here, well, I'm going to wait and see because I'm not sure how long it needs. So go ahead and attach this down. Don't go over the fold line. Just put it on straight. And the camera, let me move that up. So you line it up, not over the fold line. So you have your one fold line, a 1/4 inch space in the fold line, and then you put this piece here. Okay. And this is going to fit down inside here. So take some glue. And so turn this over so that the hinge part is down, like this. Put the little bit of glue here. And then we're going to center this the best we can right in the center. And make sure you fit it right in on that gusset part of your pages. The thing with the bags is it's softer, so you can refold it some. So just going to have to hold this to make it stick. Got that one in. Excuse me, my voice has kind of gone away. This next page, we're going to make it a little shorter. So we do need a little mat. And we're going to put this in. And it's going to have a patterned paper. It's going to have a little pocket there. Not a patterned paper, but a cardstock one. So I'm going to cut this down about, I'm going to line this up. I'm going to cut off about, and you don't have to do this, this is optional. Just wanted it a little shorter. I'm going to cut it down to the 4 inch, cut the 1/2 inch off. So, measured here. So about right here, about a 1/2 inch of it off. So I'm using my guidelines underneath, and I take my craft knife, and I'm just going to slice that part off. Like that. I'm going to put this in, and we're going to see if I can cut this down some. So I'm not going to have that little tab. Too thick. I'm going to finish this off with my scissors here. So sometimes you just have to cut things, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to use a spider web and make it stick out the other side. So that way I've got it shorter. We've got this short here, then we'll put a spider web that sticks out over that. So you want the flap here, the pocket piece, to be only about 2 1/4 inches long from that side. So a little adjustment there, but it's going to be look fine once we get all the pattern paper in and the spider web extension on there. I've got it straightened up on mine, and I apologize. I'll try to redo the well, I'll go ahead and give you the correct measurements now. So the total piece should be about 5 inches. Mine's a little bit shorter, about 5 inches long, with the 1/4 inch fold, so they kind of meet like that. This one's a little longer on this side than the original, but that's okay. You can make yours match, or you can leave them like this. I'm going to add a spider web punch out here on the side, and then so your little pocket flap would be 2 1/4, and then you want the 1/2 inch flaps by 4 1/2, and then attach that on there the same way. So that's the correct measurements. You can use whatever size papers you have, or again, if you have the little bag, I really like the little bag in there, so you can use that. So now we have this shorter page here, and we're going to put a pocket here. So we want to cut a piece of cardstock. Let me hold this up so I can see. I want a 1/2 inch on each, about a 1/2 inch on each side maybe. This is 6. So we're going to cut this 7 wide so we can score our hinges, and The pocket is shorter, so the pocket is only 2 1/4. So let's make it 7 by 2 1/4. We're going to cut a piece of cardstock 7" by 2 1/4 to make a pocket. This real narrow horizontal pocket. And again, get your scoreboard. Put the 7" at the top, and we're going to score at 6 1/2. Turn it around and score at 6 1/2 again. And that creates our attachment side hinges to give it a little more room in the pocket. And we use score tape on these folded back hinges. Same way as we've done it before. So the tape is on the folded down part of the hinge that you just scored. You open it up, it's like that. So peel this tape backing off. And we've almost got our pages assembled, so that will be it for today. I hope this hasn't been too terribly long video. I don't like to have to do the real long ones, but we've got a lot to do and we want to start decorating. That's the fun part. So put a line of glue, and my glue has dried up again. There's my pen. I need an automatic glue lid putter on her so that I always forget to put my lid back on. So a line of glue just on one bottom edge, and then we're going to put this in right just not quite on the fold of the page, so that it still will fold, and burnish the glue. So that creates our pocket here. And open this up, and I'm looking. Now we have a little flap, another little flap that goes in here. So let me grab some cardstock for that. Okay, I somehow messed up on my camera here. I didn't hear it turn off. So it turned off on the very last little tab that we need to add into this book. And since I've already got it in, I'm not going to redo this because we've already done 2 here in the front. So you need to cut a piece of cardstock that is 3 1/2 by 3 1/4. Score the 3 1/2 side at 1/4, and then round the 2 corners with a 1/2 inch punch, and then glue that between this short page and the very last page right here. I'm just putting 1 in. If you want to do 2 like this one, then go ahead and make a second one like that. So now all the pages are in and all the flaps, and we're ready to get started on the next piece. I had already, with the camera off, done a little bit for tomorrow, so that I'd have one in to show you. So this is what we're going to be working on tomorrow. We'll start adding our 3 little flaps here on the inside. And thank you for watching, and check back tomorrow for day 3 of my 13 Frights before Halloween. Bye-bye.